Yes, hello everybody, this is Ray from Race United, and I'm back, people. I'm back. It's been a while. How many days since I did my last live show? I can't even remember the last time I did a live show. But hey, we are here now. We need to try and enjoy this particular video because I am going to talk about something extremely important. And it will be hovering around the subject of Stockholm Syndrome. Now, obviously, if you don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is, I will be obviously getting the dictionary definition and obviously the encyclopedia definition of Stockholm Syndrome. So we will be talking about that and what, and obviously within the Pi Network community, does it really exist in the Pi Network community? We're going to talk about that. And of course, if you want to poll about that, we will talk about that as well because I'm looking at it and somebody spoke about it in one of the groups, and I thought, you know what, this is something to discuss with my community, the Raise United community. So here we are. We are going to talk about um, the Pi Network Stockholm Syndrome and discuss it if it actually really exists. But without further ado, you know what to do. Obviously, smash that like button, people. Smash the subscriber button. Become a member if you want to, just like J Dog is, and he's the first person to comment here. Thank you so much, J Dog. And obviously, if you want to, that's what helps the channel. That's what gives me that vim to come here and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this live show for you lot. So obviously, it's not a charity game. So hey, we all have lives. So it's all great when people are contributing to the channel to say, you know what, thank you, Ray, for what you do, and so on and so forth. So hey, this is what it is. And yeah, so that is that for that. I am going to talk about this Stockholm Syndrome thing. But before that, I'm going to actually read the definition of Stockholm Syndrome before we get into it. Yeah. So Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. All right, let me take off my glasses and read it. Yeah, so Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. Let's see. Let's put it in AI mode and see what the AI says before I get into that. All right. So Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where captives or victims develop positive feelings and psychological bond with their captors or abusers over time. This can manifest as empathy, sympathy, or even affection towards the person or people inflicting harm. It's considered a coping mechanism or a psychological response to a traumatic situation rather than a mental health disorder recognized by the American Psychiatric Association. Now, the name Stockholm Syndrome originates from a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden in 1973. During the 6-day hostage situation, the 4 hostages formed emotional bonds with their captors, even defending them after their release and refusing to testify against them. While initially observed in hostage situations, the concept of Stockholm Syndrome has been extended to other contexts of abuse, such as child abuse, domestic violence, human trafficking, and even coach athlete abuse, so and so on and so forth. Do you know what I mean? Um, and then the exact causes of Stockholm Syndrome are not fully understood, but some theories suggest it may be a survival response in a situation where a victim feels threatened and dependent on their captor for survival. Showing compliance or gratitude could potentially reduce the risk of harm, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I mean? It's a lot of things. So listen, in relation to Pi, I would personally say, okay, before that, I want to ask you, do you believe there is a Pi Network Stockholm Syndrome in that we are victims of the founders? They've preyed on us. I mean, remember, I'm just saying it. I'm not actually stating that there's Stockholm Syndrome. That's why it's in quotes, because somebody said, and I'm about to read that person's comment in one of the groups I'm in. Now, do you believe there is a form of Stockholm Syndrome in that the Pi Core team have become such as like predators, quote and unquote? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it, I'm just telling you a hypothesis. And so the fact that they may be the predators of us, and we are the prey, the victim, you know, the quote and unquote, the, you know, stuff. I don't want to use words like that, but do you know what I mean? Do you think such thing exists in the Pi community where we are the victims and we still think the Pi core team is doing a great job, yet we don't see anything really? All we see is repetitive stuff and things that we already know of, and nothing that could benefit the pioneer. You understand? Nothing that could benefit the Pi network community. So the question is, do you believe there is some sort or some degree of a Pi network Stockholm syndrome, whereby pioneers are stuck, where they don't know whether to be for the Pi core team or against the Pi core team, but they're thinking, you know what, let me just stick with the Pi core team for this, for I mean this time. So, you know, thinking that the Pi core team is doing a great job, you know, the founders are doing a great job, but they're multimillionaires now at our expense. Remember that they are multimillionaires at our expense. We've been mining Pi for 6 years plus, some of us, and nothing to show for it. Do you know what I mean? Now, when I say nothing to show for it, I'm trying to say that they haven't, you know, you would think the community has evolved, but I believe it's regressed. Personally, I believe it's regressed. I don't see anything, because whatever it is that they're showing you, I've been doing this for more than 4 years. I'm talking about YouTube, and I've been on Pi Network for over 6 years, about 6 years now. So I know what I'm talking about. I've heard a lot, I've seen a lot, I've you know, communicated with people, and I know precisely what's happening. And I'm telling you here and now that I don't think they're doing a particularly great job. I think it's okay, but when it comes to communication with us, there isn't anything. They aren't communicating with us the way they're supposed to. So personally, I don't think there's any. Well, I think there may be a degree of Stockholm syndrome. There may be a degree of Stockholm syndrome, but I don't think its existence would be sort of prominent. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's inconspicuous. However, somebody put a comment in one of the groups I'm in, and that's what prompted this idea of this. So the comment from that person goes by this, goes as follows: the core team have profited millions of dollars in ad revenue from pioneers who are dead or gone without getting migrated. Sorry, and gone without getting migrated. I wonder how nobody sees anything wrong with this. This is Stockholm syndrome at a magnitude never seen before. So I looked at it, I thought about it deeply, and I understood the bigger context of it. I didn't look at it from a narrow vision point of view. I looked at it from a broader vision point of view. And once I did that, I marinated over it, thought about it, and thought, you know what, I might do a content about it. I may not record it. I'll probably just do a live show and then talk about it. And so that's why we're here, you know, doing the live show. And you know, if you've got any comments you want to make with regards to that, please be my guest. You know, knock yourself out and let me know what's happening. Don't talk to me about migrations, please. That is something that you go to the Pi core team. I don't work for Pi Network, so if I hear something, I'll tell you, go watch my videos. I've already done it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I've already done stuff about Pi migration, so go watch it. If you haven't watched it, I'm not saying anything about it because there is no other news other than the video I did a few weeks ago. So go watch it. I've got nothing to say about that. This particular content is something that we need to talk about. If you don't want to talk about it, be my guest again. So yeah, it's one interesting subject that I thought, you know what, people need to have discussions about it. Do you know what I mean? You know, discussions are great. So, you know, if we have hold some discussions, this people talk about it, I think it's great, as opposed to just arguing amongst ourselves and people showing their ignorance at times. You know, I'd rather we discuss things that to me may seem beneficial to the Pi community, and you know, raise a subject that people may not get the opportunity to discuss. And you know, we have a platform here, Raise United, of course, my channel, where we can discuss it. So if you're somebody that is interested in this subject, the Stockholm syndrome, in this case the Pi network Stockholm syndrome, does it really exist? And if it does, tell me why you think so, and tell me if you've seen someone exhibiting those traits. And if you don't, tell me why you don't think so. Because you can't just say no or yes. You have to tell me why that is the case. Do you know what I mean? There are no wrong or right responses. There is you defending your point of view, and that's it. You defending your point of view, and therefore we would have something to talk about. Let me see if I can um, put in a poll for people to actually talk about it. Let me see. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let me see if this can give me something. YouTube. So, all right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's do a poll and see what happens. Start a poll. Do you think Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So I'm just almost there. Um. Mm-mm. Yep. Okay. So I think I've got it. And then, of course, as you're answering, you have to give me your reasons why you think so. Okay. So, do you think Pi Network Stockholm syndrome exists? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Um. This is something that, listen, I will leave it to you. Me personally, I don't think I'll give my opinion. This is just something that people were discussing. So me personally, I will say nothing. I'll say nothing about it. I want you, if you don't understand what Stockholm syndrome is or Stockholm syndrome is, understand it first. Do not say yes or no before doing it. Or just understand what Stockholm syndrome is. If you understand it, you will know what it is. So, and I want to see how sentimental or non-sentimental you are, because it's good to get into the psyche of people who watch this channel. It's very important. If you're being sentimental, I'll talk about it. If you're not being sentimental, I'll talk about it. So let's see what you say, people. Let's see. Go into the poll and do your thing. While you're at it, smash that like button, of course. Let me see. So I've got J-Dog. I've got John. Wait, let me go to this one. Yeah, J Dog. I've got John watching from Abuja. I've got Njikam watching from Cameroon. Paul Wise watching from Ireland. Um, and then we've got Yuck or Siak. I think it's Yuck. Or tell me how to pronounce it. Give me the phonics of it. Or phonetics, whichever. Amsterdam, obviously, David watching from Kenya, and so on. So yeah, let me know where you're watching from, people. It's very important, so I can give you a shout out. Also, if you've got questions on some things that you want me to know, go ahead and let's see if we can talk about that as well. But this one in particular is about the supposed existence of Stockholm syndrome in the Pi network community. So let's see if people really believe in that, or if they don't believe that it exists. Let's see. Yeah, Please vote in the vote in the thing, and let's see. Vote, because if you vote, I'll know what the psyche of people are. Yeah, vote. Let's see. It's getting interesting, of course. Really interesting. It's a divisive subject, of course. Yeah, no. Oh, okay. So yuck. So it's for Jack. It's for Jack then. All right. Also, there is what we call the top fans. At the moment, it looks like Jack in Dutch, or yuck in sorry, Jack in English, yuck in Dutch. I think he's the one leading at the moment with his comments. So obviously, if you want to top the comments league or the top fans league, you can. Let me see. Let me first. Yeah, if you want to top it, you can either make comments frequently or yeah, make comments frequently or what do you do? Give a super chat. Yes, give a super chat. So yeah. So right now the poll is it's ticking. It's ticking nicely. The poll is ticking. So we only have 11 votes. We have 23 people watching. So let's just vote. Susan, I know your brother or your family member is here, but Susan is here. I think her brother is David. Hello to you too, Susan. Yes. So do you think Pi Network Stockholm syndrome or Stockholm syndrome exists? Do you think it exists? Um, that is something that I want us to discuss. And if you think it does exist, give me your reasons. If you think it doesn't exist, give me your reasons. There are no right or wrong responses. All right? There are no right or wrong responses. All right, so let's go to Solomon. Solomon has put a comment in, so let's talk about it. Solomon says, yes, I believe so. Reason is there is so much misinformation on social media, and pioneers believe in it. For example, this 314159 price, even if you show them, it's financial impossible. Even if you show them, it's financially impossible. Um, yeah, I believe the Stockholm syndrome in that situation exists because a lot of people deep down know that it's BS. Deep down, they know it's BS. I called it out years ago, back in 2022. I called it out. Because of that, some people didn't see eye to eye with me, but I didn't give a hoot about it because I believed in my conviction then, and I still believe in my conviction. I never believed in it, never will anyway. And I mean, people can go on and on about it, but it can't get to that price, not in my lifetime anyway. And yet, people are still on it. I mean, it's misinformation straight up because you can't talk about it like that. Just look at the economics. That's it. Once you look at the economics and the financial part of it, you know that it's a total impossibility, and it's as simple as that. It's not about wishful thinking. It's not about what you think is going to fall from heaven, in this case, manna, but it's about facing the fact that that figure, not even 10,000% of it can ever be the price of pi. When I say 100,000% of it, which means 1,000 times, will not happen, or divided by 1,000, will not happen in my lifetime. So, right now, let's just face facts and let's know what we do discuss. And in this particular instance, yes, there are a few. Or there is a few Stockholm syndrome in existence in this sense. So, yeah, Solomon, you make a good point. So Solomon has set the ball rolling. Let's see what others would say, and let me go back to the vote and see what people are saying in the vote. Okay, we have only 14 people out of 30 people watching. So please go show something over there in the poll, and let's see what you think. All right, let's see what you think, because knowing what you think is so important. Knowing what you think is so important. So go there and let us know. Let us know what you think and put some comments in there as well, because right now it's looking quite interesting. the poll. The poll is looking quite interesting. I must tell you that. So, yeah, looking quite interesting. So, while you're at it, please smash that like button, okay? Smash the like button. Of course, the frequently you comment, the higher you would be in the um, yeah, the higher you would be in the yeah. Okay, let me check. Let me check and see. Top fans. Okay, so right now, Jack is number one, Adnan number two, and Jacom number three. All right, let's see. So anyone gives a super chat, and then boom, it puts them up there straight away. That is what Lizzie Lizzie had been doing the past few days. So let's see what you lot are capable of, and see if you want to push yourselves up there. You know, Jack and Co, the people from Dutch, from the Netherlands, of course. So yeah, listen, let's talk about it. We still have a few minutes to go because I didn't intend to do a live show, and of course we did hit 50K subscribers recently. Let's try and get to 50K, 50.1K. We did hit 50K, and that was an interesting feat. So let's try and get to 50.1, and then kick it on. Because if we don't get to 50.1, that 50K would be fragile. We could just pop back into 49.9, because some may be bots. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So yeah, we're discussing. If you just joining, we're discussing a subject which not many would talk about, but I thought, you know what, this is something we should discuss. We can't come here and always be talking about other things without discussing things that directly affect many pioneers, whether it's mental, psychological, or financial, or whatever. But it does affect many pioneers. So we should discuss it. And I thought this is the time to discuss it. This is the place to discuss it. And people are showing a few, some interests, and that's good. So yeah, let's see. So top fans. See the top fans. Top fans. Okay, we have Yuck or Jack, Adnan, and Injicam. All right, cool. That's all right. All right, so I'm waiting for your reason why you chose yes or no, because the question is, do you think Pi Network Stockholm syndrome, quote unquote, exists? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I thought it's something that we should talk about because most pioneers tend to want me to come here and just be talking about Pi Network, Pi Network, Pi Network, Pi Network all the time. But you don't realize that there are subjects which, are affecting a lot of pioneers, to say the least. And I've been thinking, that, you know what, should I come here and just be doing content which most pioneers won't be interested in, or should I come here and do content that pioneers will be interested in? And this, I believe, pioneers would be interested or will be interested. So I thought, let's discuss it. It's a bit complex, knowing the ambiguity that surrounds Stockholm syndrome, and at times the controversy that surrounds it. So I've had to exercise some caution, and in doing so, I really thought today, being Sunday, the 10th of August, 2025, is the right time, day, place to discuss such a very controversial and somewhat broad subject. So tell me, people, the ball is in your court. This is your show. I'm just here to moderate and host. So you have the say. So please say something about it. And yeah, we could discuss it just as Solomon did. Any one of you could type it. You don't need to call in. Remember, you just type it, and nobody's going to shame you or sham you for anything. You know, it's just a discussion we're having, and every um, comment or response is welcomed as long as it is not abusive. That's it. 21 votes so far. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. All right. Smash the like button where you're at, of course, if you haven't yet done so. And yeah. All right. Let's go to Yuck's comment, of course. Let's see what Yuck is saying because I've seen his comment. So Yuck is saying people look at pi with emotion and hope. So I agree. The economic story is that for many people, the low pi worth is still a lot of money, and that creates this overselling of the coin. And that's another point. I understand that as well because yeah. So I look at this. I look at this from a different standpoint, but I agree with you on one hand because there is the emotional part, and in cryptocurrency, the last thing you want to do is to be emotional. You want to be pragmatic and you want to be objective. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you say the price is going down and you're selling, then you are contributing to the price going down because I believe the price would hold or go up if you hold or buy. That's what I believe. And right now, the price of pi is low. So this is the time to buy. However, people think that, oh, they're supposing that, okay, yeah, if I have 1,000 pi and I change it, I'm going to get $400. That's going to be enough. No, it's not. Imagine the price goes to $10. That 1,000 pi could have turned to 10,000 pi, $10,000, sorry, instead of that $400 that you sold it for. Think, remember, you didn't buy the pi, you mined it. Do you know what I'm saying? It didn't consume any power when you were mining it because, you know, we didn't use all those power plants that Bitcoin and Ethereum do, you know. So personally, I don't think we should sell our pi at all. I think we should hold or buy more if we have the money, if we have the capital, the portfolio to do that. You know, if you don't have it, just hold and see them, watch the magic happen. We've had the power all this while, but we don't even know it. Yet before mainnet, open network was launched, everyone was saying, yeah, we have the power to do this, we have the power to do that. Yet right now, everybody or most people are relinquishing their power. Because once you sell, you've relinquished part of your power. And if you believe in the fact that money is power, then you have to believe in the fact that holding your pie is you putting the power in your own hands. So yes, I agree with Yuck's comments right here. That's on one hand. Yes. So you know, we should look at things from a very pragmatic standpoint, and of course, be very objective. And that's what I would say. That's what I would say. Okay. Whip crash main USA. I checked. Yes, because I often feel bad for my captors, the Picore team. The Picoin is a psychological roller coaster. Keep up the hard work, Ray. Thank you so much, Whip Crash. And these are points. I like that. I like this particular point. It makes perfect sense. At the end of the day, listen, I have obviously called out the Picore team for certain things they haven't done. You know what I mean? And I believe I was right in doing that. But I would always tell you that the project is a huge undertaking. Therefore, do not take it for granted. Do not sleep on Pi, because if you do that, you're the same person that's going to come back and say, I shouldn't have sold it, but then you'd already done it. So personally, I will tell you here and now, you know, try your best. Hold on to your Pi. If you don't have the money, the capital to buy Pi, just hold on to it. Do not sell it at this low rate. Trust me, a lot of people are tempted. I know people who are tempted, but at the same time, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to sell it. At the end of the day, I mined it. I didn't buy it. So therefore, those who sell their Pi, panic and stuff are the ones who bought Pi and seeing the price tank. They're the ones who are panicking because they're the ones who are actually losing cash. but I'm not losing cash. My pie is still the same quantities, the same magnitude. Nothing has changed. Yes, in comparison with fiat, it's going down, but the magnitude of my pie is still the same. So why do I have to sell it? No. Think you didn't buy that pie. You mined it. It's your pie. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm trying to make anyway. Here's no question to finance. What can we finance to grow? Now, this is another thing that I'm going to tell you. There is no Nakamoto nothing. That so-called account, which is they calling themselves Nakamoto whatever, they're not it, people. It's just a normal person like me who's created that name and is typing things because, yeah, it's easy. And you are the one falling for a J page. So that Nakamoto is a nobody. Sorry, I'm just telling you. He's a nobody, or whichever, whoever is typing that, whatever, it's a nobody. So please, the misinformation that Solomon spoke about, this is it. This is it. So I don't care about who the hell Nakamoto is because I don't follow that person because I saw it and I said, who the hell is this? And you lot are just following that person. Yet the right information comes from Raise United and you don't come here. When I post something, people don't want to even like or share or retweet or whatever because it's not what they want to hear. What they want to hear is what the lies that Nakamoto will be telling you, the so-called Nakamoto. You know, you can go and follow him. That's your cup of tea. I don't follow him, so because I know what's happening behind the scenes anyway. Yes, so no, I'm not gonna acknowledge that comment at all. Okay, so here you said people are mistaken. It's not pioneers selling pie. How do you know that? How do you know? If pioneers didn't sell their pie, how did the traders get hold of pie? They didn't have any pie when we launched on the exchanges. There was no pie. We we sold the pie, and that's how it existed on exchanges. Do you understand? There was no pie in existence on the exchanges until we sold our pie, and it keeps happening. It keeps exchanging hands all the time. Some are buying, some are selling, but there's more selling than buying. That's why the price is going down. This has nothing to do with traders. These traders, most of them are pioneers as well. Do you understand? Manipulating the price and stuff. So be very careful the way you consume information. Be very careful. Okay? Right. Yuck here is saying hold your pie, and if you can't buy at low, of course it is very low comparatively because we've seen it get close to $3. So you know it is what it is, and so that brings us back to the Stockholm syndrome. So obviously, JPay definitely has a bit of that Stockholm syndrome because he is one of those that believes that everything is fine and therefore we should just chill. It is not pioneers because he has all the facts. It's not pioneers. It is traders and so on and so forth. Nope. I don't believe that 100% because I know what's been going on. I know it. Do you know what I mean? I can tell you here and now, your story is not completely true. We sold our pie. That's how it came into existence on exchanges. There wasn't much pie on exchanges. Trust me. There is a liquidity pool, but that liquidity pool is for our ecosystem majority. Do you understand? That liquidity pool that the pie core team created, the 5% of the 100%, so the 5 billion pie that eventually is going to be the liquidity pool, but work out 5% of what we have now. That will be the liquidity pool, right? That wasn't for exchanges, that was for our ecosystem. Do you know what I mean? That was for our ecosystem. But we began selling our pie on exchanges from the very moment on the 20th of February 2025 when the open network was launched. Pioneers began selling pie. I'm telling you. Yes. First of all, they started buying, so the price went up, not pioneers, because people started, there was a slight liquidity pool, so they were able to buy. And then once they bought, the price went up. Remember, price manipulation, it went up, and then you lot started selling. See the manipulation? You guys started selling. And once you started selling, what happened? It tanked. It's not seeing $2 for a very long time. It's not even seeing $1.70. In May, on May 12th or May 13th, it saw $1. It saw $1. 66, and that was it. Since then, it's just hovering under 50 cents. That's all it's been doing. So if you're there, be very, very careful. Me, listen, I don't have 1 million viewers. I don't have 1 million subscribers. If I did, maybe the word I put out there would go far. But because I don't have that, it falls on deaf ears because you guys don't share the content. So if you don't share the content, people don't know what we're discussing here. Do you understand? Because I'm not going to misinform you about anything. That's not what this channel is about. If you've been watching this channel for all these years, you know the information that comes out from this channel or off this channel are legit information. It's got nothing to do with anyone. I don't give you clickbait most of the times, and I make sure when I'm giving you information, it's from my very, very, very reliable source. And he doesn't give anybody any information apart from me for the past 4 years, since 2021. Anyway, so let's continue. Let me see where the poll has got to right now. All right, so it's got interesting. It's got interesting. Yep, it's really got interest. People still don't understand what the Stockholm syndrome is about. So they've come in, they haven't asked the question, and they're saying that they believe that there is no, or they don't believe there is a Stockholm syndrome in existence. So it means that those of you who came in and voted don't know what the discussion was. If you knew what the discussion was, maybe you would change your mind and probably answer the questions correctly. Now let's see. Let's see. Top funds. Let's see top funds. All right. So, all right. So Yak has gone to, he's gone first, and Solomon has gone second, and then the J-Bass has gone third. All right. Keep it coming, people. Top fans. Once you give a super chat, you're going to the top. Remember, once you give a super chat, you're going to the top. All right, so let's continue. The circulating supply of Pi on CoinMarketCap includes locked Pi. There is not much Pi for sale. Okay. Here's another myth. The Pi core team are not legally permitted to give out the kind of information pioneers are always looking for. Oh, yeah, no, they're not. That I know for sure. They're not legally permitted because once they went onto the open network, they open up themselves to all these legalities, the legal constraints. Do you know what I mean? Because then the whole world became real. You understand? And once the world became real, it meant that they couldn't, and the fact that they're headquartered in the United States also ensures that they have to be very, very careful the things they say, what they do. They've had to hire lawyers in order to be able to say certain things or not say certain things. Remember the recording that I have of them discussing things with moderators and stuff, which I released a few months ago. Change Alpha said it that pre-open network, they could discuss, which they never really discussed, to be honest. But anyway, they could discuss a lot of things then, but they never did. But now, remember, they never really did discuss a lot of things then. Can you imagine now what's going on? They can't discuss anything. So now, most of you are going to be kept in the dark. There are certain things that even I can't talk about. Do you understand? Yeah, there are certain things that I can't talk about, even though I have some inside information about them. Because, yeah, I know the legalities. Trust me. That's why you don't see me talking about certain things because, yeah, legally, you don't want to be going into those. Do you know what I mean? Nobody can sue anybody because freedom of speech. And I'm not bound by any legality. I'm trying to protect Pi network. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. But I'm not bound by any legality to either disclose or not disclose anything. But I chose not to. Do you know what I mean? Lock it right back up. Yes. I don't hear Pioneer discussing how top into 100 million funds that have been set aside for funding development. All I hear is price this, migration that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just discussing what people are talking about here, the comments. You know what I mean? So, but I again, like I said, I've created a subject, and I expect people to weigh into the subject. And this subject is about Stockholm syndrome. And if you know what Stockholm syndrome is, you know it's a so if you know Stockholm syndrome, it's a psychological phenomenon which captives or victims develop positive feelings. Sorry, where captives or victims develop positive feelings and a psychological bond with their captors or abusers over time. This can manifest as empathy, sympathy, or even affection towards the person or people inflicting harm. Um, it's considered a coping mechanism or a psychological response to a traumatic situation rather than a mental health disorder recognized by the American Psychiatric Association. Do you know what I mean? So that is the technical definition of Stockholm syndrome. And then I related it, if you just join, I related it to the situation where most of us are in right now. I don't have any sentiments when it comes to the PyCore team or the project. Yeah, the project I do have a little sentiment because I'm part of it. When I say part of it, I have a lot of people whom are invited to the project. So yes, it will be um, uh, it would be remiss of me if I don't represent their interests. Do you know what I mean? However, I don't have any sentiments when it comes to the founders of the Pi Core team because at the end of the day, without us, there will be no Pi network, which has tens of millions of people and over 100 million downloads. So yeah, it's a very huge undertaking. Therefore, I am sort of a representative. Sorry. Jay paid. All right. I apologize. You're talking about the proper Nakamoto, Satoshi Nakamoto. All right. So I read it. I'm not talking about Nakamoto, the social media account. I'm talking about the wallet with a million Bitcoin, plus OKX had millions of Pi at launch. Yes, they did. They did, but still, people sold a lot of Pi. People are still selling a lot of Pi, and I don't want that. We as pioneers need to hold. We have a lot of Pi as pioneers, However, obviously, the Pi core team hold 20% of the Pi we have, and then we have the rest. So we need to make sure that we holding that 65% makes us powerful. 65%. Imagine if all of us, 65%, which is us representing the numbers, if we hold our Pi, we will dictate the price of Pi. We hold, we buy, we hold, we buy, we hold, we buy. But at the end of the day, Pi Network is a utility-based initiative. So we should look at that as well. Now, this brings me straight to the utilities. Now, we know that we've been told that the utilities are the ones that they've been looking forward to the Pi Core team. But, months have passed and I don't think I've seen a lot in respect to that. So, with respect to that, so I'm sort of a little bit concerned about, that particular approach. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I don't know when that is going to happen. I mean, the mainnet ready apps are going to be, um, disclosed to us. I don't know, but we wait to see. We wait to see. Let me see where the poll has got to so far. So 29 votes. It's not enough, to be honest. It's not enough. But hey, well, what can we say? Not many people are watching lately, so we can only say we go by what people are saying. And all right. So now I think I'm going to read the comment that Jay paid put across. Yeah, apologies for that. Let's see. So what he said was, here's my question to pioneers. What can we pioneers do to grow the ecosystem? Nakamoto gives us 0 updates, and he even left a million Bitcoin just laying there. But the network is, yeah, because it's the community. Remember, I always said the Bitcoin community, Bitcoin is owned by Nakamoto, Satoshi Nakamoto, part of the U.S. government, the Chinese government, big banks. Yeah, what's the name? BlackRock, the ETF people. All of them own bigger chunks of Bitcoin. So they are the ones that can manipulate the price of Bitcoin, not the others. Do you know what I mean? And those ones have been holding and buying more. They sell a bit, manipulate the price a little bit, and then buy more. Sell a bit, manipulate the price a bit, buy more. That's what they do. That's why Bitcoin keeps going up. Because they're so in tune. The community, they're in tune with everything. But Pi is fresh, Pi is new, Pi is raw, Pi is a baby. So Pi has still got more time to go. So I'm not talking about the project. The project is fine. The project will take care of itself. Do you know what I mean? But now this is another thing. The Pi Core team can hold seminars. They can hold live shows. They can hold, you know, X spaces. But they will have to be very um, precise in what they say. Therefore, in communicating with us, when I say communicate, I'm not saying you come and tell us what they're doing. That's the future. They can't discuss the future, but they can discuss the present and the past. Therefore, you give people that, what Jan said, the hope, that hope that Jan said earlier. Where is it? Here. See? People look at Pi with emotion and hope. So that hope he's talking about, maybe, you give them that. Even if you're quote unquote not lying to them, even if you're misleading them, you're still giving them hope. But I'm not saying they should mislead and lie to people. However, communication is the key to the growth of every project. Forget about Bitcoin and this and that. Bitcoin is already established. They don't need a founder of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is run by the people. And if the Pi Core team can let it be completely decentralized, nobody's going to talk about them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nobody's going to talk about them. We will run it ourselves. Do you know what I mean? But it's not completely decentralized. That's why people are looking to them. Do you get me? So think about it. I get your point. I understand it. But Bitcoin is decentralized completely. So, it runs itself. That's what it is. Everything is already pre-programmed. Runs itself. So yeah, I get your point. More likes than votes this time. Oh, that's actually wonderful. That's actually wonderful. That never normally happens. Let me see. Uh all right, we have 32 likes and 30 votes. That's interesting. We never really get that. We normally get a lot more votes than likes. So yeah, it's a bit surprising that we have that. Honestly speaking, yeah, it's a bit surprising. Um, More likes than vote this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's quite interesting. Let's see. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Right. Let me see if I can end the poll. 31 votes and how many likes? And 32 likes. So that's interesting. All right. So I'm going to end the poll. And all right. So it was 42%. So 31 votes, 58% said the Stockholm syndrome exists in the Pi community, and 41% out of the 31 votes said it doesn't exist. Well, the sample is a small sample, but it's based on the people here. So obviously, it's the people here who actually voted. So yeah, that is quite interesting. That's an interesting vote. Interesting to see. Right. So I'll take one last question or one last comment, and then we'll call it a night, a day, whatever, wherever you're at, whatever time it is. One last question, one last comment, and we'll do that. Yeah. All right, people. That's the end of the show. Take care of yourselves. Name is Ray. Channel is Ray's United World is Peace, and I love you. Take care of yourselves. Yeah.